Okay, now I don't, I can't see if anyone chats, I can't see them. So just to let them know, I can't see, so I can't respond. I used to have it live where I could respond directly when people were talking. Now I have to like pop over and see if there's a chat. So then I get caught up in my drawing and I forget to pop over and see if there's a chat. Okay. This is Tatiana Romanoff. I'm just a roustabout. Boy, it's so dark. It's so hard to see anything. This lighting, no matter how bright I try to make it, I've got the light shining directly on it. Maybe it would help if I opened what the sun can see if that helps. Yeah, that helped a little, I think. Just don't have enough light. Okay, and you can't even see the drawing lines. Well, that's too bad. I was trying to figure out how to make this process work, but okay, well, now I'm still sketching, but sometimes I sketch in the tones. Hopefully you should be able to see that if I sketch in the tones. Highbrow. It has a highbrow. Anybody surprised? Okay. How's that? Can you see anything? I apologize that these lines are so hard to see. Um, I'm gonna try to figure out what I can do. I used to just try to sketch in charcoal because I wanted people to watch, but I couldn't get the lines to be very visible. They're so let me see if I move it closer, is it more visible? Let's see. Boy, it just really is so discouraging. Please, better lighting. It's a little too soon for me to be putting the nostrils in. Let's see. Eyeballs. Yes, I can probably put those in. I wonder if it's this picture I'm looking at casting a shadow. Did that help? I'm trying to adjust the lighting. See why you don't put tones in because you have to move them. Now look, the mouth should be over here. See? That's why don't put tones in. That eraser is completely destroying my picture. So I'll just stop this. Okay, so the mouth starts here and ends here. But because same reason you can't see the lines is the same reason this is the proper way to sketch because uh if the drawing is off, the tones will be off. So if I put the tones in now and I have to move them, they're going to leave a mark. My teacher taught me try not to rub the eraser. The gummy eraser is supposed to just lift it off. There, see, I had to move the whole mouth. Probably going to have to move the nose too because the nose seems to be under the eye. So yeah, no, that's about right. Okay, now her eyebrows aren't very dark. They're just these little wisps. Perfect for me. I tend to underdraw my eyebrows and my Jackie would have been better if I would have put her eyebrows in a little bit more dark. But I'm that way. I just don't want to darken the eyebrows for some reason. Because I guess because you can always darken, but it's tougher to lighten. This is the picture I'm using. That's Tatiana Romanoff. Did the shadow go away when I lifted it? Nope, that shadow is still there. Don't know why. Bummer. Okay, just bonnet on. I don't really need that bonnet. I could just skip the bonnet. That's extra work for me without a whole lot of reward. Okay, so I'm gonna lay in the tones of the hair by just kind of scribbling. So you know her hair is dark, just to get, you know, so it's a sketch. Just laying in these dark tones for the hair. Okay, now here's some highlights in her hair. I love the shapes of the highlights in the hair. It's one of my favorite things to draw. Okay, now okay, now let's see the eyes again. Okay, so do I have everything right? All the proportions? This is very dark here. I can start putting in the charcoals, but I want to make sure everything's right before I do that. The shadow is okay, so maybe a little bit more like this, right? Okay, and then the shadow goes like that, and it's in front of the nostril. There we go. Nice. Noses are always hardest, I think. They're just weird. Still ended up having to move the nostril. Okay. Now, tones, the drawing in the tones now. Now there's a definite highlight at the edge of her chin. I'm gonna try to bring that out. See, it's right here. See that? That's a highlight. I love those highlights near the edge of a circle. Okay. Now I'm gonna kind of lightly draw in the tones, but they're being drawn in, which means they can be erased. They're not being painted in with charcoal. Okay, now I'm gonna darken in the pupils. leaving a highlight there. And one over here. So now I'm going to darken the tones just a little with the sketch pencil. Can barely see it. At least that's the impression I get, is that it's very hard to see. I apologize. I'm going to try to figure out how to improve this visibility issue. And a highlight at the top of the lip, and then shadow under the lip. Shadow curves around the chin. I steady my hand by using my finger, which sometimes leaves prints on the face. Okay, I'm gonna darken in the hair a little more with the highlight, I mean, with the sketch pencil. Again, this is a sketch pencil. It's very thin on the side and very thick when it's flat, which leaves the tip with, it's not a point. Uh-oh, I hear my grandkids fighting. Everything okay? You guys okay? Careful. Don't go too horse play like that. Well, it's okay unless you get hurt. Trust me on that. We have to get out of here. Now, I suppose it would be good if I could move from sketch pencil to charcoal instead of having it just be, if I put it all in one video, it might make it more interesting for people who like to see it pop. So I guess I'll do that. I'll start adding the charcoal. Okay. So what else do we have to fix here still? Okay, just a little line here. Okay, now this way. I have almond shaped eyes. Uh, uh-oh, I hear them fighting. Unbelievable. Okay. So the nostril would be about here. This line is barely here at all. Hey guys, I hear you fighting and I'm doing a video. Come on. Hey. Stop. I do a video. Stop. Okay, how's that look? Not bad. Okay, so now I'm going to start putting in the tones. Wait. Okay, so the tones. So let's go out here like this with the hair. Okay, so I'm ready to put in, let's see, do we want any of these details? I don't really like jewelry and stuff. I don't like to put it in, but maybe I could hint at some of the lace, her beautiful lace clothing. Maybe I could just hint at it a little bit. I sort of hate to do that. I really kind of hate it. Putting in clothes, putting in that stuff. Um, I try to avoid it, basically. I feel like it ruins everything. I don't know why. Maybe I'm wrong, but if it adds to the personality, I feel like I have to put it in, kind of. Okay, now I'm going to start with the dark charcoal. So I got some different stuff here. This, if you can see it, this is vine charcoal. I almost never use it because it's really just graphite. Or I guess it's just vine stick or something. This is compressed charcoal. This is what I tend to use. Although I don't know, sometimes I'll use this. Let me use this for a second and see what I get. Yeah, that saves a lot of time. It really does to just go right in with the soft. This is just very soft charcoal. So it comes out very dark. The softer it is, the darker it'll be. This is just the first layer of dark. that I'm putting in to just brushing off the excess charcoal so it doesn't smear. Okay, now I'm gonna start giving five. Forgot to put the rest of the eye sketch in. Kind of bad to put the hair in first because it reduces the number of places my finger can rest without smudging everything. Oops. See what I mean? Now watch all that charcoal fall off the, see how it rains charcoal down? Rains it all down the face. I've learned the hard way that if I don't brush it off, it ruins my pictures. Then I have to blow it off like that. Okay. See, I'm having to just like lay my entire finger in that hair and look what it's doing to my finger. Nature doesn't like lines that are not varying lengths. So that's why that looks odd, just to let you know what that is. That's a bad line. And you can see it's bad because it's too dark and uh too uniform. What is that weird? Look at that. I should sell this charcoal dust that accumulates at the foot of my at the on the tray of my easel. I could sell it. Well, when an artist gets caught up in their work, you can't say it's a bad thing. On the other hand, I just dropped everything out of my little basket. Went flying everywhere. All right. Okay, now I'm putting in some tones using this thing. Now this is kind of a little bit more, I feel like the way I'm doing this is a little bit more like how I do see other charcoal artists work. But notice I have the sketch underneath though. So I'm kind of I feel a little bit freer to play with the shadows because I have the sketch underneath. And it gives me just a little more freedom, I think. So now here I'm kind of almost like drawing with an eraser. I'm just getting exhausted, which happens, it's part of the process. It's just getting exhausted and sort of quitting because I'm just too tired to keep going. And then usually I do another round on the same drawing, but it's a shame. I should really finish it while I have the chance. So I'm gonna try to do that this time. Okay, now, so brushing it also sort of, if I want it to stay there, I kind of brush it a little differently. Like I'm just kind of moving it around on the paper to mat it there. Sometimes I even have to spray it with a fixative. The brush is like my first sort of manual fixative. Like I'm pressing it into the paper to make it become like so it doesn't brush off. I use a different type of brush stroke designed to keep as much of the charcoal there as I can. I'm getting so hungry, tired. I don't want to finish this right now. I'm going to have to leave some of it. Mm, too hungry to keep going. Well, I just need a break. I'm so exhausted. Ugh, exhausted. All right. Well, I'm just going to take a little break here.